All right, I have some brutal 49ers injury news for you. Jason Verrett is again done for the season. At Thursday's practice, he jumped up high to try to break up a football, and he fell awkwardly on his shoulder, and he tore his rotator cuff. Jason Verrett is going to undergo surgery on a torn rotator cuff. Technically, this is his 8th season-ending injury. Jason Verrett just cannot catch a break from these things. 8th season-ending injury. The 49ers are obviously devastated. Jason Verrett is obviously devastated. And as of right now, Kyle Shanahan says that he wants Jason Verrett to hang around the building. He's been such an inspiration to this 49ers team because of all the injuries that he's overcome. I mean, the resilience has been off the charts. You look at the fact that he tore his Achilles last year and he came back after people thought that he was going to retire. The 49ers had 7 players show up to Jason Verrett's tryout workout a couple months ago. Kyle Shanahan said that he's never seen players actually show up to watch a tryout workout. So Verrett means a whole lot to the 49ers locker room. He can still give them that locker room boost if he hangs around. We'll see if he does. Kyle Shanahan has asked him to. But here's the injury history. Starting with a shoulder injury in 2014, that was actually 3 tears in his labrum and 1 tear in his rotator cuff. This 2023 one was a tear in his rotator cuff. Interestingly, Jason Verrett actually earned a lot of credit at the NFL Combine in 2014 for putting up 19 bench press reps, even though he had a torn labrum. But then he tore that labrum, and he had 2 more tears, 3 tears total in his labrum, plus 1 in his rotator cuff that ended his rookie season in 2014 with the Chargers. He finished 2015 healthy, or at least without anything documented. He tore an ACL in 2016. That was a little bit complicated, though, because it didn't seem like it was fully resolved until he tried to play in 2017. Might have been the same knee injury. It's not clear when I go back through the records. But he played 1 week in 2017, then shut it down and actually had surgery to repair the torn ACL. 2018, Achilles tear. 2019 was his first year with the 49ers, where he played a couple snaps against the Steelers. They shut him down, put him on IR with an ankle injury. I don't think that required surgery, though. He just needed another season to rehab. 2020 was his really good year with the 49ers. Verrett was healthy. 2021 is when he tore his ACL in week 1 against the Lions. Last season, Jason Verrett tore his Achilles in practice before he could return for the 49ers. Same thing this year, 2023, back to the start with the shoulder injury. So just absolutely rotten luck for Jason Verrett. It is what it is, but that's 8 season-ending injuries, 6 surgeries by my count. There's a reason why he's been so inspiring to the 49ers, because he was able to come back through all of this, and we'll see if he sticks around the building through that last one, that shoulder injury. Anyway, let's take a look at the impact on the 49ers roster to see what is going to happen here moving forward. They were planning to play Jason Verrett extensively this weekend against the Rams. It was going to be a great opportunity for San Francisco to see what Jason Verrett had left in the tank at 31 years old, so that they could determine their DB rotation against the Rams. That was the plan. Now, remember, this is a house money situation. He's on the practice squad. It's not like they were dependent on him, but it would have really been a nice boost to get a Pro Bowl type of player back healthy and ready to deliver reinforcement in the postseason. Verrett played 5 snaps against the Baltimore Ravens. That was his way of getting his feet wet. He's going to get that extensive action this week against the Rams. Now the 49ers don't have him. They also currently don't have Ambry Thomas, who broke his hand and underwent surgery, but Thomas is expected to be back for the divisional round. And what this injury to Jason Verrett means is that Thomas becomes all the more important for the 49ers to come back fully healthy from his broken hand and deliver at the cornerback position in nickel packages. Because whenever that happens, Diamond Lenore can move inside, where he's been good. Ambry Thomas has to play outside, which he's done so far this season. And as a veteran, as somebody who's actually played well this season and who has accrued a few years of building experience, we know it hasn't all been pretty for Ambry Thomas. He seems to be the one fulcrum of that 49ers secondary here for the playoffs. So a lot more pressure now on Ambry Thomas, since Jason Verrett is not going to be available. People ask about the other options. Obviously, the Isaiah Oliver's ship has already sailed. He's a backup at that nickel spot. He's somebody who might cover tight ends if the 49ers need it. He doesn't have the change of direction or the short area quickness to be the top nickel for the 49ers. Darrell Luter and Sam Womack, I should say Darrell Luter Jr. and Sam Womack III. They're obviously two options, but I see them more as depth pieces. I've seen the 49ers prefer Ambry Thomas in that top cornerback rotation over both of these younger players. So for the time being, we'll see a lot of Luter and Womack because obviously the 49ers don't have to win this game on Sunday against the Rams. But it's Ambry Thomas who has the harshest spotlight on him now after Jason Verrett's season is finished. Once again, those of you just joining, it is a rotator cuff tear for Jason Verrett at Thursday's practice. He tried to jump up to knock away a football. He came down hard on his shoulder. The rotator cuff is torn. He's going to need to undergo surgery. They're talking a 4 to 6 month return timeline. He's only under contract with the 49ers on their practice squad for this season. It is the 8th season-ending injury for Jason Verrett. Just gutting news for him as he was trying to make a comeback with the 49ers this year. A lot of people said that Jason Verrett was done. He would retire after last season, and he didn't. He came back after that Achilles tear. The 49ers liked how he looked. They couldn't wait to get a showcase opportunity for him on Sunday against the Rams. Unfortunately for them, though, the showcase opportunity will not happen. If we want to take a look at other 49ers injury news on this depth chart right now, confirmed rest on Sunday, I have in gray. So Purdy and McCaffrey, neither of those two guys is going to play on Sunday. They're giving him rest. The McCaffrey's been ruled out with the calf injury, but it's a minor injury. So I went ahead and put him in gray. Other than that, though, you have other interesting situations. Juwan Jennings still hasn't fully passed through concussion protocol, so he may not play on Sunday, although he has passed through some steps of it. It's just not full. So Jennings has still been a limited participant. Jalen Moore, meanwhile, the offensive lineman who was in concussion protocol at the same time as the receiver, Juwan Jennings, he has passed through concussion protocol. So I've removed the tag from Jalen Moore. Ross Dwelley still trying to get through that high ankle sprain. Aaron Banks, I believe, is fully off the injury report. I could double check that here right now for us. I'm just now he's been a full participant in practice, so we can remove Aaron Banks and his turf toe off the injury report. That's a fully healthy 49ers offensive line, which I think is key. Trent Williams is going to play, by the way. We know that for sure. We could even shade him in green because John Lynch said on KBR that he expects Trent Williams to play and probably just going to play a couple series, maybe a quarter against the Rams. I talked to Trent after the 49ers beat the Jacksonville Jaguars a couple months ago, and his main thing that was after his injury and the bye week, and he had a month layoff, and he told me he didn't feel good. He felt rusty in that game. So I think that Trent knows his body better than anyone. A lot of people are up in arms about him playing, but if he thinks that he's going to feel rusty and maybe even susceptible to injury in the divisional round, if he doesn't get at least a few series in against the Rams, then you let him play. And I think that's the decision that the 49ers are going to come to in this football game. Eric Armstead, the hope remains the same. They hope to get him back for the postseason. I think that this is a surgical strike kind of thing for Eric Armstead. No pun intended there. I don't think he has to have surgery, but it's plantar fasciitis. And the treatment that you get, you can really target for a certain recovery window that's not going to be too big. And the 49ers only have to win 3 more games to go and hoist that Lombardi trophy, 2 to get to the Super Bowl. So they're going to try to have Eric Armstead on that treatment plan so he can come back with the plantar fasciitis, which is a really tricky condition to deal with in the foot. So he can come back on the divisional round of the playoffs. Oren Burks, he already came off of the injury report last week, so we can remove Oren Burks from the injury report. Ambry Thomas, I mentioned him, and the 49ers are going to be without both safeties and really without 4 safeties since George Odom and Talanoa Hufanga are also out. But Jair Brown, Deshaun Gibson with a quad strain, Jair Brown with a knee sprain, both out this week. So at the safety position, you're likely to see Logan Ryan. And then 2 practice squad guys come up in Eric Harris and Taylor Hawkins to get through the week. Also, Isaiah Oliver has been a safety backup for the 49ers. So they can get through this game, which doesn't mean anything to them, with depth pieces. Other than that, I'll try to collect some intelligence and info on who all's going to play. But as you can see, you don't have enough guys on the practice squad to sit all the starters. So the 49ers are going to have to play the starters for at least a solid portion of this game. Obviously, Sam Darnold is going to play. We can also shade him in green. And Elijah Mitchell is off of the injury report. He was there with an illness, so he'll be the 49ers starting running back. And they do have a stocked offensive line in front of Sam Darnold, which is good news for the 49ers because you want at least those foundations to be fully healthy. And between the D-line and the O-line, there aren't a lot of injuries. It's the Armstead one that we're keeping a close eye on, but we've known about that one for several weeks. So really bad news with Jason Verrett. We're going to have another 49ers update in a little bit where I'm going to go through the entire roster, except in more detail. I know I just went through some of the injuries there and some of the potential plans for the 49ers. Just wanted to fill you in on the bad Jason Verrett situation. It is a brutal sport, and some guys just as talented as they are, because Jason Verrett is so talented. I mean, he's an elite level talent. And to be able to overcome all of this right here and still have a job in the NFL, which he does, that means that you have otherworldly talent. That is top level stuff, to be able to take that wear and tear physically and still be good enough. And, motivation is also there for Jason Verrett. It also takes an elite mentality. So the fact that he hasn't been able to fully display that, and we saw him go to a Pro Bowl 1 year for the Chargers, but, he hadn't finished anything else healthy. The fact he hadn't been able to fully display that is really, really heartbreaking for Jason Verrett. And the 49ers do hope that he hangs around the building because they have all been inspired by him. He is in that locker right next to Nick Bosa's, and Bosa has talked really, really highly of Jason Verrett, as have the other 49ers teammates. Last year, after he got hurt with the Achilles tear in practice, they all made T-shirts. They wore T-shirts during warmups honoring Jason Verrett. I wonder if they do something similar here on Sunday against the Rams. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you soon.